teachers pride ourselves on always saying and always believing that we are doing the best for all of our students. And the problem with believing that and saying that is that it is almost impossible to do what is best for all of our students all the time.
Usually with US history, they do a whole lot of work, and at the end of 3 or 4 weeks, they take a unit test. With the SLOs, you can track it, so you're not really left in the dark. It's not towards the end of the unit where you say, did they get it or not? You can track it step by step throughout the entire process.
And we always try new strategies to be able to help them so they can meet the goals. So I think the SLO is just a way to kind of write it down and just kind of help us focus on what the objective is.
We get to actually focus on those groups, not only those students, but also students who might not be achieving on the same level, and it forces you to try to figure out ways to get them to do better.
Some of our hardest hit kids really need that individual instruction or the smaller instruction, and I think an SLO is designed to not only monitor their progress, but also help out with your teaching skills and the interventions that you have in place to support all the students.
It's been really helpful to focus on one skill, which is what I did, is I focused on writing specifically and writing for a specific purpose, and then working with the students that really had trouble doing that to help them catch up on that skill.
We did ours on thesis writing, and so they were able to see themselves that, thesis is a scary word. They heard other people talk about it, but as freshmen, how do they tackle it? So with these guys, I was able to break it into smaller chunks for them to understand.
Something I tried the first day was I gave them all an assessment to see what they need improvement in, and a lot of them needed improvement in writing. Even though they come from a Spanish-speaking country, their writing skills were very low. So I noticed I was able to identify them and see that they needed improvement in their writing skills.
We try to figure out creative ways to get them engaged and persevere through learning objectives. So we didn't want them to look at a piece of paper and then see a problem that they may not have confidence in and then quit that problem. We wanted to focus on perseverance.
They've gotten help with that skill, and they are now on a more equal plane with the rest of the students in the class, so that all of the students can now move forward in doing more complex tasks.
So what we did was we started to utilize things like carousels and scavenger hunts within the classroom to allow them to work independently and also with group members.
And so for them to be able to relate it, that it's not just a history thing or not just like an English class thing, they were to apply and say, oh, this makes total sense.
Even though, like I said, as teachers we do all this, but writing it down and having it as data, it helps us look through it. It reminds us what the students' goals are, what the objectives are.
And you got to remember that data is not just numbers, data is kids. And so when you look at numbers, you have to think about it's for them and to try and help them get better. So the SLOs are things that you can look at immediately, see whether or not the kids get it, and then alter your future instruction.
Also on the reflection part, I always write down what worked, what didn't work, so I would see what I could do to help them do better.
I think like the most valuable part of the whole SLO process is the reflection piece, when you get to go back and look at what you thought would work or what didn't work or what was successful. And it also forces you to kind of look at yourself and see what can you do better and how can you improve things. And I think it makes you dig deeper into the what's and the whys in the classroom versus just giving out an assignment and you grade it and you give it back. It kind of makes you dig deeper into that. So it makes you, the reflection piece makes you improve your teaching practices.
And if we work on that skill specifically with the students that truly need it, then we're just going to be pulling everybody up.
There's a saying that I've heard a while ago, and it's not always what you go through, it's what you grow through, and I think that's the purpose of the SLOs too.
It's like a challenge every single day, but it's okay.